Hi everyone and welcome to day 9 of the Summer Sculpt challenge. In today's class I'm going to take you through a full body workout where we're going to focus in on our form and our technique. So we're going to slow things down a bit today. I really want you to listen to my cues just so that you're performing the movements correctly and then you're getting the most out of each exercise. So whenever you're ready, meet me in the middle of your mat and we will get started. So coming down into a seated position in the middle of your mat, just crossing your legs, sitting up nice and tall, place your hands on your knees and then slowly closing down the eyes. I just want you to take a second to focus on your posture, so making sure that you have a nice tall spine, your weight is evenly distributed through your sit bones, your shoulders are away from your ears, lengthening out through the crown of your heads. And then we'll start, as always, by connecting into our breath. So taking an inhale through the nose, feeling the ribcage expand. And then exhale out through the mouth. Big deep breath in, so breathing into the ribcage instead of into the belly. And then exhaling out through the mouth as if you're blowing out through a straw. Big deep breath in, making sure to keep your shoulders away from your ears. And on this next exhale, start to draw your belly button back towards your spine, connecting into your centre. 2 more like this. Big deep breath in. And as you breathe out, pull your belly button back towards your spine, start connecting into your centre, engaging into your abs. Last one, biggest breath you've taken all day. And then exhale out through the mouth, drawing the belly button back towards the spine, sitting up nice and tall. And then when you're ready, slowly opening the eyes. We're going to get started straight away. So you're going to come down to lay on your right side for me so that your left leg is on top. Extending your hand long, just resting your head on your arm. I want you to bring your heels in line with your hips. Make sure that you're not flaring through your ribcage. So tuck the ribcage in, put your hand on your top hip, push that top hip away from you, creating a small gap under your waist, and then place your fingertips down into the mat. Squeezing the heels together, knees to a 90-degree angle. You're going to open up through your top knee, squeezing your heels together. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, open up through that top knee, squeeze the glute at the back, and then really slowly lower down. So here I want you to imagine that I'm stood behind you and you can't rock your hips backwards and forwards, keeping your hips stacked on top of each other. You're just squeezing the side of your glute on the way up and then release on the way down. So getting into the side of the glutes here, also getting into that hip mobility. Draw your belly button back towards your spine, connect into your centre, squeeze your heels even harder. If you want a challenge, you can lift the heels off the mat slightly, still squeeze the heels together, but you do the same thing. You open up through the top knee, keep the heels squeezing together, try not to open up through your hips or rock off your hips, should I say, and then really slowly lower down. So this whole time, staying balanced and stacked on your hips. Shoulders away from your ears, just 4 more. Really slowly lower down. Exhale to lift. Inhale, lower down, control the movement. Just 3 more, as if you're moving through honey. For 2. Last 1. And then lower the knees all the way down. From here, you're going to prop up onto your forearm. So propping onto your right forearm, you're going to bring your glutes to the back of the mat for me. Bring your knees and your feet to the front. Make sure that your knees are in line with your hips. So try not to have them too far back. Pull them in line with your hips. Your feet should be parallel, or should I say your shins should be parallel to the front of the mat. Staying up on your forearm, so this whole time, focusing on your form here. Try not to dip into your shoulder and collapse your ribs. Keep your ribs lifted and push out through your elbow, so push your elbow down into the mat to push yourself out of your shoulder. You can have your hand on your hip, on the mat, wherever it is most comfortable for you. I want you to flex through your feet, so pull your toes in towards you. You're going to lift that top knee up, then really slowly lower down. So you exhale, lift, bring the knee up, inhale, lower down. So here I want your foot to follow with your knee as you lift and lower down. Try not to lift up with the foot first. So heel just follows the knee, you lift up with the knee, open up, then really slowly lower it back down. Stay lifted through your ribs. It's really easy to try and collapse into the ribs. Stay lifted, pull your belly button back towards your spine. So you're also working into your shoulders and your upper body at the same time as working into the side of the glutes. Just 4 more here. Try not to rock backwards and forwards. For 3. Use your breath to help you. For 2. Push out of your shoulder. Last 1, you're just going to lower that leg halfway down to hip height, flex through your foot. This time you're going to imagine that you're kicking something behind you, so you're going to isolate through your hip, you're going to bring your knee behind you, try not to flare through the ribs, so keep the ribs tucked in, keep your hips stacked, and then really slowly bring that knee back in towards you, pull into your lower abs. So as if you're kicking something behind you, keep the hips stacked, and then draw that knee back in. Inhale back, exhale, pull it in. 5 more here. Pull your belly button back towards your spine, lift through your ribs. For 4. 3, nice long spine. Keep your knee lifted. Just 2 more. You got it, guys. Last 1. Hold that knee lifted. From here, you're going to send your foot out to the diagonal. So push your heel away from you in the diagonal. Are you just going to give me tiny little lifts up and up? So really lift up through your heel here. Pull your toes in towards you. Make sure that you're not dropping into your hip, dropping into your ribs. Keep your ribs lifted. Hips are stacked. Tiny pulses up. You should really feel this in the side of your glutes here. Just 4 more. For 3, 2, 1, hold. This time point through your toe. You're going to give me tiny circles. Push out of your shoulder. Try not to collapse into your hip. Smile through it, guys. Just 4 more, then we reverse. For 4, 3, 2, 1, hold and reverse. Really point through your toe. Tiny, tiny circles here. So it's not making really big circles. Keep it nice and slow, small and controlled. Stay lifted through your ribs. Just 4 more. For 3, 2, 1, and drop it down. Good work. Okay, coming down to lay on your back. Just take a full body stretch to start with. Stretch your hands overhead, feet away from you. Just shake out the legs. And then you're going to bring your hands down by your side. Bring your feet in. You're going to tuck your tailbone under, imprint your lower back into the mat, and then you're going to bring your legs into tabletop. We're going to start to warm up through the core with some toe taps. So first of all, making sure that your knees are over your hips. You're not bringing your knees too far in. Make sure that your knees are over your hips. Push your lower back into the mat. So imagine that you're pulling your belly button back down towards the mat, keeping your back flat on the mat. Shoulders away from your ears, pointing through your toes. So going into our toe taps, you're going to tap your right toe down. Exhale, pull it in. Left toe taps down. Exhale, pull it in. So here, I don't want you to just tap the toe down to the mat. Imagine that your hip is a lever and it levers forward to tap your foot down. Exhale, pull it in, pull into your lower abdominals. Same thing on the left side. So tapping your toes slightly further away from you. Keeping your lower back on the mat the whole time. If it's too much and your lower back is coming off the mat, you don't need to tap your toe all the way down to the mat. Just go as far as you can with keeping the low back into the mat. The more you do this, the more strength you'll build, the further away you can get your leg. So if you want a challenge, try and tap your toe even further away from your body. Just 2 more. Exhale, pull it in. Last one. Okay, from here, squeezing the heels together, we're going to do double toe taps now. So really important here, keep your lower back pushing down into the mat. Protect your lower back. You're going to tap both toes down. Exhale, pull it in. So inhale, tap both toes down, pulling them further away from you. Exhale, pull it in. We're here for 5. Pull your belly button back towards your spine. For 4. Squeeze your heels together. For 3. Relax your upper body. For 2. Last one. And hug the knees in. Good work. Rock from side to side. And then rock and roll yourself up to seated. We are going to come now to lay on our left side so that our right hip is on top. You're going to extend your hand long, come down to lay on your arm. We're going to go back into those clams. So bring your heels in line with your hips, knees are bent to a 90-degree angle. Place your hand on your top hip and push that top hip away from you, creating a tiny little gap. Squeeze your heels together, fingertips down into the mat. You're going to open up through that top knee. Inhale, lower down. So you exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down. Making sure to not flare through your ribs, so tucking your ribs in, belly button back towards your spine. If you want a challenge, lift your heels off the mat slightly. Again, squeeze the heels together to open. And close. Again, imagine I'm stood behind you. You can't rock off the hips as you open up through the knee. Keep the hips stacked. You just squeeze the glute open up through the hip. Inhale, lower down. Just 3 more here. For 2, really squeeze that glute even harder with control. Last 1. And lower the knees down. Coming up onto your forearm, send your glutes to the back of the mat, bring your knees to the front, bring your feet to the front. I cannot talk today, what a shock. So feet to the front, knees to the front, stay lifted through your rib cage. Push out of your elbow to come out of your shoulder, push your top hip away from you, stack your hips. Flex through your feet, so pull your toes in towards you. You're going to open up through that top leg. So lift with the knee instead of with the foot. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, the foot just follows. Inhale, lower down. Again, I'm stood behind you. You can't open up through that hip too far. Keep the hips stacked. You just open up as far as you can. Squeeze the glute. Inhale, lower down. Pull your belly button back towards your spine, still connecting into your center. Shoulders are away from your ears. 4 more. Really squeeze that glute. For 3, connecting into the side of your glutes. For 2, on this last one, you're just going to hold the knee down at hip height. We're going to go into that kick back again. So imagine that you're kicking something behind you. I'm going to have to shimmy myself up, otherwise I'm going to kick the wall. So imagine that you're kicking something behind you, keeping the hips nice and still, and then draw the knee back into your chest. Pull into your lower abdominals. So keep your knee nice and high this whole time. So it's like you're kicking something behind you, keeping the knee bent, and then really slowly draw it back in again. So try not to bring that knee too low. Keep that knee lifted at hip height. Push it back. Keep the hips nice and still. Pull it in. As you send that leg back, try not to open up through your ribs. Keep your ribs tucked in. Everything in your center is knitted in together. Pull your belly button back. That is what controls you. And then really slowly pull it back in. Just 2 more here. last one. Pull that knee in. You're going to extend the leg out this time, so foot comes to the diagonal. Make sure that your foot is flexed, toes are pulling in towards you. You're going to give me tiny little lifts up with the heel. So lead with the heel instead of just going through the motions. Pull your heel up to the ceiling. Squeeze into the side of your glutes. Stay lifted out of your ribs, just 4 more. Then we go into circles for 2, 1, hold, point through the toe. Give me tiny circles forward. Push out of your shoulder here. Try not to dump into the shoulder, dump into the ribs. Stay lifted, push out of your ribs. Tiny, tiny circles with control. Can you slow it down even further? 4 more, then we reverse for 3, 2, 1, hold and reverse. You got it, guys. With control for 5, lift through the ribs for 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring that knee in. Good work. Okay, last thing here, flipping onto your back, coming all the way down, hug the knees in. I say that's the last thing. I'm lying, it's definitely not the last thing. 2 more things after this. Okay, so pushing your lower back into the mat, bring your legs into tabletop, hands come behind your head. You're going to take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, you're going to come into your abdominal curl. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower down. So here, again, your knees should be over your hips. Try not to bring them too far in. You want them slightly pushing away from you, stacking them on top of your hips. Your knees are at a 90-degree angle. Make sure your elbows are really nice and wide. Push your lower back down into the mat, pull your belly button back and up. Lift up through your chest. Inhale, lower down. Just 4 more here. You got it for 3. And 2 more. Lift up through the chest, elbows nice and wide. Last one, hold it lifted. We're going to go into our bicycles now. So you're going to bring your right elbow to your left knee, extend the right leg away and twist. So twisting through your waist, not just bringing your elbow into your knee. Really twist through the ribs, keeping the lower back down on the mat, extending through the legs, finding that length and space, nice and slow and controlled. 8 more. For 7, 6, stay open through your chest for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and hug the knees in. Good work. Just rock from side to side. And then rock and roll your spine up to seated. Coming onto all fours. This is your last thing. We've got 1 to do on each side, and then you are all done. So you all know me by now. I always lie when I say this is your last thing, and then I always add something onto the end. We want to make sure that we're hitting the upper back and the arms to make this a full body workout. So pushing out of the palm of your hands, you're going to extend your left leg long, right hand comes long. You're going to extend, lift both of them up, square off your hips so that both hips are down towards the mat. You're going to bring your elbow into your knee, curl through your spine. Exhale, extend everything long. Try not to dump into your low back, stay lifted through your ribs. So you bring the knee to the elbow. Exhale, extend, find the length and space, nice long spine. Inhale to come in. Exhale, extend, soft bend through your left arm. Bring it in and extend. Just 2 more here. Last one. Hold. You're going to keep the leg lifted, place the hand down. We're going to go into some tricep push-ups. So you have 3 options here. You can go with the full movement with the leg lifted. So you bring the elbows down into the waist. Exhale, lift. Option, place your knee down. You just go with the arms. Or option is you tap the elbows down, squeeze the triceps as you lift. So you tap the elbows down to the mat. Exhale, squeeze the triceps as you lift. You got it, guys. Just 4 more together. Exhale, lift. For 3. It's as if you're peering over an edge. If you have your leg lifted, so you lean forward. Exhale, lift. Keep the ribs tucked in. Last 1. Exhale, lift. And place that knee down. Shake the hips from side to side. We're going to go with the other side, and then you are all done. So this time the right leg extends, left hand comes forward. So just shimmy myself forward slightly. Soft bend through your right elbow. Square off your hips. You're going to lift your hand and your leg off the mat. Make sure that you're pushing out of your ribs or pushing your ribs up. Making sure you have a nice flat back, not dumping into your low back. You're going to bring your elbow into your knee. Extend, find that length and space. Pull it in and extend. Just 5 here. Try not to dump into your low back. Push out of your shoulders. Square off your hips for 3. So many things to think about. For 2. Last 1. Hold the arm and the leg extended, place your hand down. Again, we go into those tricep push-ups. So your elbows come down into your waist. Exhale, lift. Option, place the knee down. Just go with the upper body. Or option, tap the elbows down. Lift, squeeze the triceps. Choose your option. You got it, guys. Just 4 more. Inhale down. Exhale, lift. For 2. Last 1. And place the knee down, open the knees nice and wide, sit back into a child's pose. Walk your hands further away from you, sitting your glutes down into your heels, stretching out through your spine. Coming back to your breath here, so inhaling through the nose. And then exhaling out through the mouth. Just slowing the heart rate down, slowing the nervous system down, stretching out through the spine, and then really slowly walking your hands up towards you, rolling your spine up. Last thing that should come up is your head, and then coming into a seated position in the middle of your mat. We will finish class as always with one last deep breath together. So making sure you are in your correct posture, so both sit bones are equally planted down into the mat. Making sure that you're not flaring through your ribs, so tucking your ribs down, pull your belly button back towards your spine, lengthening out through the crown of your heads. And then we take an inhale, lifting the hands up overhead, breathing in all that positive energy from today's class. Hands come together, and then exhale, hands come down through heart center. And guys, you are all done. Amazing work today. I really hope you enjoyed this form-focused full body workout. Let me know in the comments below which bit of technique that you've taken away from today's class, and hopefully you can take that with you for the rest of your life, every single Pilates class that you do, not only just for this challenge, and you can get the most out of each exercise to get the best results. If you enjoyed today's workout, don't forget to subscribe so that we can work out together again. And I will see you on the mat again tomorrow.